Everyone in Australia is looking at the interest rate chessboard, and they are looking at what moves people are making on it, whether it's inflation, whether it's government, what the banks are doing. And we've got some big news for you this morning. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Oh,
You're frozen. Oh, you're back. Wow. Gotta be excited for this one.
yep. You've all been waiting for this one.
Oh, been waiting. Look, there's enough. This is like going to the casino, in my opinion, and telling you, and then they tell you on the front door, this is what's going to happen if you stick around.
Yeah.
Like it's
It would be giving some people an advantage if they can read the play. Let's read the play.
let's see where the chess pieces are being moved. Because as you said, there's so many opinions in the marketplace. There's so many, different indicators that you can track, whether that be inflation, whether that be, deposit, long-term deposits, whether that be, what the rates are doing in other countries. There's so many different things that you can look at, and then you hope that means, something for yourself, particularly if you're a mortgage holder, right?
Absolutely. So, guys, if you've got a mortgage in Australia, your rates have gone up a lot in the last couple of years. There's been talk about rates going down. And one thing that I've learned in business and as a real estate agent is you don't bet against the house. So, generally, people who, if you're very, very good at what you do, you generally dominate in what you do. Now, the banks are very, very good at what they do. The top four banks are very intuitive. They're very educated. They've been around a long time. So, when it comes, as an example, to fixed term rates, am I a fixed term rate person? Probably not, because generally the bank's always going to win on their forecasting. But yesterday in news, which is coming through today in news, the banks have made some big changes.
Let me show you. So the changes that you see here are what the big four banks are doing in terms of change for their deposit bonds. So that's CBA, ANZ, and NAB. At the top, you can see there. Now I know it's a little bit small, so what I'm going to do is blow it up on my end and be able to read it sort of back. But you were particularly interested in the 12-month change, Mark.
Yeah, so basically, guys, banks like to sit on your money. If you give them your cash, Mr. Retiree, the banks will say, okay, thank you, we'll take your cash and we'll give you a rate of return on your cash. They then take that money and go and loan, to put a margin on it, and they go and lend it out as a mortgage to people needing money. So they buy your money, they give it to you, and they're buying your money for cheaper, and they sell it for more expensive, and that's their profit that they make. Now, these numbers here that they've got are what they're willing to pay you if you give them your bag of cash. So,
Yep.
$500,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, and this is the return they're going to give you. Tell me more, Billy. Read it out.
Well, the interesting one to look at here. So yeah, I'll read it out from the start. Let's just go from the top. So CBA over 3 months and 6 months have it down 25 basis points. 9 months actually up, which is interesting. But back to 12 months, it's minus 60 basis points, which is massive, really. And then that 2, 3, 4, and 5 year forecast is all coming back down as well. CBA.
How much of that? How much is the forecast there for the 5 year and the 3 year? 2 year.
The 3, 4, and 5 years is down 40 basis points.
Oh, is that all? Okay.
That's it.
So we're not far off what they regard as sort of regular look at that for 5 years. But what I love about this is if these banks are punting what they're going to be giving people for their money on a 5-year return, 3-year return, 2-year return, 1-year return, I think is a direct index as to what money is going to be lent out. This is a great reference of what they think the interest rates are going to do. And they're saying here that in a 9-month period, they're seeing a 0.6% shave on rate. Interest rates, who bloody knows? But it looks good, guys. It looks good. There's silver lining in the cloud.
It's positive. It's a positive indicator. And then
Yeah.
this is on the back of New Zealand making a 0.25% basis point change last week. They put a rate cut in. So
Did they?
that's what's happening around us. Yeah. It's interesting.
So, guys and girls, I guess today's a short show, but it's a good show. It's talking about these rates. If you've just tuned in, the banks are punting their fixed term money that they're lending out to people. They're going to be reducing the return. Of course, they are for those people. But we're seeing it as an index, as an indicator. For what's going to happen with rates in the future. Big news. Like 0.6%, Billy, what does that mean to 600K, for example?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. Put that into numbers for you. For $600,000 borrowed, a 0.25% change is $100 a month. So, 0.5, $200 a month. That's 600. But if you then multiply that over a million, you double it again. It puts 2.5 on 6.6 basis points on 600,000 puts about $2,500-$3,000 back in your pocket each year. $1 million, double that again. So it's a lot of money. It's the difference of having a nice couple of meals out. That's for sure. It takes a bit of pressure off.
It's massive. Difference between eating steak or not eating steak at home. Now, listen. Billy? What do you think's going to happen with these rates? If this is any indicator, which I believe it is, what do you think that? So the next sort of 12 to 24 months of rates. What's your punt if you're a punting man?
Well, just like there's a direct correlation between deposit terms, term deposits, and rates, there's another direct correlation between mortgage rates moving and people's borrowing capacity. So for every 1% change in the cash rate, there's a 10% change in people's borrowing capacity. We tend to see that filter through into prices, because as people have got more to spend, it frees up their choice. It opens up more flexibility, when it comes to their borrowing. I think you can expect to see people paying a little bit more because they can, and people that have been waiting, on the hurdle of not being able to get the finance, it solves their problem. It's positive.
Okay. Billy, the old man in a young man's body, thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having. I'm pretty excited. I'm the excited agent. I feel like there's a long time coming. This is a good indicator, and it's not an opinion.
Yeah, and I think that there are people out there that actually genuinely hardcore, including me, need these rates to do better. I think for households, it's just good news. It's just good news. This is probably the most significant good news on rate movement that I've seen. And I don't believe it to be a punt. I think it's a solid piece of information that these term deposits are reducing.
Yeah, you can jump online, find this article for yourself. Just type in that top headline at the top there. And,
so there you go, guys. There you go. Rate the deposits. The rates have reduced, which we reckon is going to move over to interest rates shortly. Certainly, if the banks are punting it, I would be punting it. Have a good day.
See you later. Happy Wednesday.